money and finances, they are not the most important thing that you should be thinking about. There are way more important factors to consider. So, when it comes to this subject, I feel like the most important thing for you to know is in this video series, this is part 3, I'm going to share some spiritual and practical advice on relationships for those of you young ladies that are on the spiritual path to hopefully help save you time and frustration and aggravation and to avoid some of the traps and the pitfalls that can occur as you navigate the playing field of relationships, and most importantly, to help empower you to make the healthiest and best decisions for yourself and your happiness. Hi, I'm Nikki from HereToWakeUp.com, and I help people stay accountable and connected to Divine Spirit on their awakening journey. I've been spiritually awakened for 15 years now, self-realized for 10, and I'm here to help and to be of service to kind-hearted souls that are ready to progress. So if that's you, welcome to my channel, The Healthy Wealthy Recluse. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Make yourself at home. And I also want to say thank you so much to my subscribers. I really appreciate you. On this channel, I make videos about spiritual wealth, healing, and relationships. So if you find that you like it here, let me know in the comments and consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Even dislikes help the channel. So thank you so much for watching all of this video. Before I start, if you haven't seen the first 2 parts of this series yet, the links are in the description below, or you can click the iCards on the screen right now. Just make sure that you come back and finish watching this video when you're done. Thank you. So in this part, I'm talking about money and gender roles. And as I mentioned in part 2, these are major subjects when it comes to relationships in general, but especially when it comes to dating and romantic relationships. I've seen so many different stories and statistics that talk about how finances are the main reason why couples break up, marriages end in divorce, and certain relationships don't even get off the ground in the first place. So there's obviously something going on with this subject. So even though it's like taboo and it's an uncomfortable subject or whatever, it really is something that has to be looked at and addressed if you care about being happy in your relationship and if you care about the type of relationship that you want to have. And remember, I'm talking about romantic relationships here. I'm not talking about, just being friends with a guy, which I'm not even sure if that's something that can actually be a thing after a certain age. I'm not talking about friends with benefits, which is foolishness. And I'm definitely not talking about purely spiritual, holy relationships that are not sexual, where 2 people commit to helping each other undo and dissolve the ego together. That's something that's much more serious, much more intense. And that's not what I mean when I say romantic relationship. I'm talking about something more conditional and, worldly than that. And even though romantic relationships are worldly, like I just mentioned, and egoic and centered around security and money and all of that sort of thing, which does play a role and does have some importance, money and finances, they are not the most important thing that you should be thinking about. There are way more important factors to consider. And, in a lot of cases, probably every case actually, where you're dating someone and the money aspect is really great, but there are other more important things that are lacking or missing altogether, to me, you'd be much better off staying single or dating a different guy, because with those factors that are missing, you ultimately won't be happy in the relationship anyway, and especially in the long run, if you even make it to the long run. You may even put yourself in danger if you stay in a relationship like this, if the person has like questionable qualities and a questionable character that you're overlooking because of the money stuff. So I just really want to reiterate and make that super clear that, when a guy is interested in you and trying to date you, to be in a relationship with you, there are more important things to consider besides money. At the same time, though, money, the concept of money still plays a very huge role, as you know, not just in terms of the relationship, but just in terms of material existence and practical day to day living. And if you're going to be sharing your time and your energy and your space and your world with a guy that wants to be in a relationship with you, and you want to be in a relationship with him as well, the money thing is just going to factor into the equation inevitably at some point. And that's why, in my opinion, it's not something that can be completely disregarded, or ignored. So when it comes to this subject, I feel like the most important thing for you to know is whether you and this guy are financially compatible or not. And when I use the term financially compatible, what I mean by that is, do you share the same or similar views and ideas about money and how things should be handled in a relationship? Like, do y'all have the same perspective and outlook? That's what I mean when I use that term. I'm not meaning it as, do you have equal amounts of money or similar amounts of money? That's not what I mean. So this is where the money conversation comes in, which I think is something that you should have as early as you feel comfortable, because why would you spend, all of this time getting to know someone, possibly starting to really like them, just to find out it's not going to work because financially you're just not compatible. And it's like, no matter how compatible you may seem to be in other areas, or no matter how deep your feelings may be, unless both of you are happy and in agreement, the financial dynamics are going to throw things off eventually. And so that's why I think when you do have the conversation, you should be as transparent as possible. Like, I don't think that you should lie about what it is that you think or whatever standards you may have set for yourself. And I don't think that you should try to finesse, because the quality of your relationship depends on you being honest. And also, because if you're watching my channel or you're subscribed to my channel, then you're most likely on a spiritual path. And so the spiritual journey is most likely important to you. And you probably care about your soul condition and your integrity. And it's universal knowledge that when you lie and deceive, it puts you into darkness, like it darkens your soul. It puts you into the false light. And of course, that's not what we're trying to do on this channel. We are moving into the light. We're staying in the light, and we're doing our best to operate in ways that support, healing. So I say all of that to say that the money conversation is important. But before you can have that conversation with anyone else, you first have to have it with your own self. So in the next video, I'm going to give you one very simple yet possibly very triggering question that you can ask yourself that will help you to get clear about how you feel about this particular subject. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, subscribers. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And also, Consider liking, commenting, and sharing the video with other kind souls on spiritual journeys. Remember to love yourself, because that truly is the real wealth. And stay tuned for the next video. Take care.